Let's move on to the same walk line and listen to another key panel that is called The Right Digital Model for Banks. And the session will be hosting Dr. Okan Acar from Kuveyt Bank and Egor Avetisov from Privat Bank and Benoit Grangé from OneSpan.
Welcome everyone. Welcome our session about the right digital model for the banks. Today we will be discussing this issue because, in our environment, in our contemporary business, mainly focused on API banking, digital banking, the fintechs, and their role in the disruption in the banking. So I have two distinguished speakers with me, Mr. Benoit and Mr. Egor, and I will introduce them to you. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. I am the head of digital banking group in Kuveyt Türk. Kuveyt Türk is a mid-sized commercial Turkish bank, and with a staff size of 6,000 and a branch network of 430. As I said, I have two speakers. I will start with Mr. Benoit Grangé. He is OneSpan's Chief Technology Evangelist. He is focused on sharing OneSpan's technology vision, deep industry insights with customers, partners, and the global markets. And he has extensive experience in product development, product management, and as far as I learned, he has led engineering teams before. And OneSpan is a company which is specialized in digital identity and anti-fraud solutions. And my second speaker is from Ukraine. Mr. Egor Avetisov is the head of innovation in Privat Bank in Ukraine. He has more than 13 years of experience in business development and innovation. As far as I learned, he has worked in various projects, including Topless ATM, P2P money transfer, and various and numerous mobile apps, banking apps. And Privat Bank was established in 1992, and as far as I know, the largest commercial bank in Ukraine. Gentlemen, let me clear the rules for all of us. We have 3 minutes of talk for each question because we have a limited time. I have already prepared some questions for you. If we can in line with this time limitation, I will be appreciated. So let's start. I will start with Mr. Benoit. We are always talking about the API banking. So with API banking, banks are opening their services to the third-party providers. Third TPPs. TPP issue came from the PSD2 requirement. And in TPPs are combining variety of services and functions from different banks and provide them under one application. Do you think TPPs are going to disrupt the conventional banking apps?
So I would say a simple answer is yes, a big yes. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that bank will not have to play in this market, but for sure TPP are in a unique position to deliver new services to bank by delivering new service that they can offer really in real time. So we do see already today some TPP in different regions of the world, especially in Asia, really delivering some very advanced application that are really consumed by the consumer at scale. So the big winner with this open banking or definitely consumer. We should not forget that initially the goal of open banking has been designed to really stimulate the market and open something that was reserved to the bank to more competition. So while we could believe that open banking is only a risk for a bank, we can as well clearly indicate that the bank are in a specific place, they are in the middle of the ecosystem. What I mean, it's a real good opportunity for the bank as well to create some partnership with this technology provider. Because one of the points that we should not forget, I mean, there are plenty of fintech and startup all around the globe But most of these fintech and startup are playing locally. They are very local players. So there is a very strong opportunity to the bank that are operating into a region to really create this different partnership with these different fintech and partner, so they can deliver new solution, new advanced experience to their user, and as well deliver more services to their customer to really serve their needs. So why in one hand we could see that as something that can only represent a risk for the bank. In the other hand, that's also an opportunity. And most of the bank, and I would say that 90% of the bank do see this opportunity of using open banking as a way to grow their revenue by 10% in the coming years. So overall, I would say that open banking is really something that is really disrupting the market, that is opening competition, and really encountering the customer needs where they need it. And we see a very strong demand from the market for this kind of new solution.
I see. A very interesting answer. You say that banks should be both careful, but on the other side, there are a big place to go for the banks also. So they may create value out of this risk, as far as I understood.
Yeah, that's exactly that. So that's exactly what they do today. So
Yeah.
and they know that if they don't adapt, they will not survive. So they really have to bring the services that are expected by the customer and by the consumer, and to adapt to what other big tech are offering in the market. So because the level of expectation from the consumer at the end is set by these very large enterprise like the GAFA that are offering ultimate user experience online. So with this open API, I mean, the fintech have been driving the dance, but now the bank are really adapting behind, and again, they are in the very good place because they do have this information. So they can really leverage this capability to deliver even more to their customer. So at the end, it's an opportunity for the bank, why initially we could have seen that as mainly a risk for them.
I see. Thank you very much, Benoit. Let me ask my first question to Egor. Egor, some of the traditional banks are establishing digital-only banks with totally different culture and infrastructure, such as, Standard Chartered and Mox, maybe Commerzbank and Comdirect. Do you think this trend will spread in the near future? Do you think the banks are going to replace their traditional models with this new way of doing business?
This is a good question. I think that the very idea behind this is to find a way for new customers, for millennials who really wants to have everything online, their mobile phones. But I think this is not quite a good idea to cut your customers from branches and from all benefits that traditional banking is providing to their customers. I can remember several attempts from traditional big banks like Royal Bank of Scotland, as far as I remember, tried to do something and they closed their project. So I think that proved that this is not a very good idea to build absolutely separate infrastructure. On the other hand, it's understandable and it's clear that people want very digital and very fast service from banks. So I believe the correct way should be create a mobile application based on existing infrastructure, and of course it leads to necessity to deal somehow with legacy system. But there is plenty solutions that allow banks like Privat. Actually, we are quite old bank for our market, and we also have legacy right now. But there is a plenty solution that allow us to handle it and create digital and very fast and user-friendly services. So I believe for banks, the right way for banks should be create their own good mobile application and use branches and existing infrastructure as additional benefits. And it's not a good way to cut your younger audience from it. So this is my view on that question.
I see.
Yeah, and maybe to
Yeah.
complement, indeed, I think that there is a strong demand for the digital, but indeed there is a way to leverage a branch to deliver some specific services. Because at the end, what is very important is that based on some population of a bank, I mean, the expectation are not going to be the same. So millennial that are digital native are going to be very satisfied with a pure digital experience, but maybe you have a class of a population that will be more comfortable initiating a discussion online and then finalizing the discussion with a face-to-face interaction in the branch. So the branch still have an opportunity in the future to deliver some specific needs for the customer. So that's something that
absolutely agree. For example, we have in Privat, we have like 12 million customers that use our mobile application, and almost 2 million customers from that amount is retired people who recognize right now the people who don't want to use digital, but also they want to use branches as well. And it will be unfair, you know, to cut some functionality from them. So, and also young people as well, they want to have a cash. So it's funny, but they still want to have a cash, and you need branches for that. So I believe it should be like a step-by-step departure from existing physical branches to mobile and digital.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I
and I
think the
want to
banks
add,
should balance it.
yeah,
The banks should balance it. By the way, even in Kuwait, Türk, in our bank, also we have conventional channels, you know, branch channels, and also we have a platform, remote banking platform, whereby we acquire the customers, which is called Senin Banka in Turkish, and in English is Your Bank. From that channel, we acquire the customers, but we give many of the services if the customer requests from the branches. So it's a need. We need to, you know, balance both the digital and the physical altogether. And I have one more question about it in the, you know, third round, if we come to that question. So thank you very much for both of you. And I want to turn back again to Benoit. I want to ask a question about the super apps, which is a trending issue right now. You know, there is a huge shift in service sector, especially in Asian countries. And we are seeing that super apps are covering almost every aspect of daily life. And do you think, should the banks shift their business model towards super apps by partnering with other application providers, even they are not, you know, related to banking or financial services? What do you think about it?
I think so. Maybe we can look at what we are seeing in Asia. So there are these kind of super apps where you can book your taxi, pay your restaurant, create some loans. So really apps that are really supporting you during your day-to-day digital life. So that's the case. Name application like Grab, WeChat. So these applications are existing, and the main reason why these applications are existing is because there is a huge demand from the market. That's simple to address a need from the market. And again, in Asia is not because Asia is more advanced in terms of technology. They are quite advanced, but again, is to really answer to a request from the market. And what we see is that these super app are getting a lot of traction from the consumer. So they are really consumed, they are very successful. And when we question this consumer about what do they think about their lending their banking application, so they have a tendency to mention that the bank are generating frustration. Why? Because the bank are offering a bad digital experience. The consumer tend to wait when they go to the branch. They don't necessarily have their answer when they need it. So what I mean by that is that if a financial market wants to go to the customer and answer to the need of the customer, they have to adapt themselves. So they need to change and to perform the digital transformation. And in Asia, for instance, this has been initiated by the Fintech. And now, I mean, the bank are lagging behind and they're trying to come back. And what is very interesting in these countries is that the banks are moving very fast. They're moving very fast. We were talking about Santander Bank, HSBC, Citibank. I mean, these banks are moving very fast to try to deliver this kind of value to the customer. And we see some super app in these countries delivered by the bank offering more than just banking services. And it's going to be tough for this bank because, as mentioned by Egor, I mean, these banking rely on some legacy systems that are very difficult to adapt. So to perform their digital transformation, they need to become agile. They need to move away from this legacy application. So they need to go to the cloud, to consume some applications that are easy to integrate based on open API, that are scaling, that are integrating the latest technology like AI and machine learning. So this is a big challenge for the bank. But what we see in the meantime is that not all the fintech will survive. So there are quite a lot of fintech operating in different countries. Only limited number of these fintech are operating in multiple countries. So there will be a lot of change in the market, a lot of fusion between different fintech, but for sure as well, the bank that will not be in position to adapt themselves to deliver what is expected by their consumer, they will stay behind, and it will be very difficult for them to keep their consumer. And that's the point. At the end, to answer to your question, should they go there? I think that's what they're trying to do. They're moving very fast, some of them, to go into that direction. And this will be clearly the standard in the future, this kind of super application.
If you allow me to add here, so yeah, I have an experience of building super app in our banking. So, and there's a very interesting thing. Our customers have possibility to buy sushi from our mobile application, even sushi, flowers, tickets, etc., etc. And also we were one of the biggest competitors for Uber in Ukraine because we allow our customers to use Privat Bank for ordering taxi. But what we can see right now that like simple services like the taxi service and the sushi service or something like that, it's not very popular because banking applications tend to be more secure. So there is a lot of efforts with scanning your Face ID or something like that before you can order sushi, and this is too much for sushi. But what I can say that train and airplane tickets are driving 20% of our user flow. So, and also very nice for customers is insurance policies. So they buy insurances from banks and they store all the digital insurance policy inside banking application. And this is very important for them because there is no way where, so this is not very convenient to store in the paper way. So this is what banks can do with their super, to be focused on more secured goods and services that require a lot of KYC. So banks owns KYC and they can leverage it.
I see. Thank you for the explanations. I think it's an emerging issue. In Turkey also we are now in the trial of one of the super apps, but we are just developing it. But the Turkish, consumers, they are not ready for that as far as I understand. But if we, try to touch the center of the life of the customer with these apps, then the customer will be more, see these apps convenient for their lifestyle, and maybe they will use it in the future without going into any banking apps. Now, let me ask my fourth question to Egor. We are living a pandemic situation right now, and although pandemic has changed the people's attitude towards digitalization and built a better familiarity with the customers and the digital services, most believe that the human touch can still be important in the customers' lives when they do banking. Do you agree with the idea that this can be a challenge for digital banking? If yes, how do you think that the banks can combine the digitalization and the phygital issues all together in order to give the services to the customers?
I'm not sure I got a question. Can you?
I want to ask this question. In the pandemic, digitalization is a emerging issue, and the customer they went to the branches. They didn't go to the branches. They tried to use the mobile apps. They maybe in the first time they enrolled to the e-commerce services, and they have met with the digitalization. But after the, let's say hopefully in the coming year, if this problem resolved, this pandemic situation resolved in the future. So what will be the balance of the customer? Would they be still digital, or would they need again the physical
Yeah.
services? And do you think it will be a threat for digital banking in the future?
So I don't think that pandemic changed something. It changed only the speed of transformation. Anyway, in the following years, like 5, 10 years, everything will be digital except like some, I don't know, maybe premium services. And as for our bank, it was very, very interesting because in the first day of lockdown in Ukraine, there were, so it was X10 downloads of our mobile application compare usual days. And we got up to 1 million customers for the first months of lockdown. And you see, we started to invest in IT like 20 years ago, and not we, our predecessors, of course. And it was strategic right way to do, and so we were prepared. So almost all operations in our bank could be done in remote channels, and that allowed us to be more, how to say, to look more solid in eyes of Ukrainian customers. But I don't think that after pandemic, some people will tell to themselves, okay, the corona is over, so I want to go to a branch. I don't believe that people wants to to stop using something very convenient to use something that are not so convenient and not so fast. So I believe the speed of digitalization will rise in the following years and in the future, and I think that it will change nothing when hopefully the vaccine will be for everyone in this world. So I think bank it will change nothing. So everybody wants to use digital. So this is my opinion.
Okay, regardless of the pandemic situation, if we didn't, leave this situation, then you say that there was already a trend towards digitalization. So the people are getting migrated to the digital. Then so this may rapid up this trend, but on the other side, there won't be any, adverse situation for digital. The customers, they are, you told about the retired customers, and you say that they need a face-to-face interaction in the branches. So is it also the same for them?
Of course, the speed of digital transformation in different groups are absolutely different. And of course, so actually, this is our problem as well, because we have up to like several millions retired people that use our bank, and we're working with them, and we can see that. So we're trying different tactics how to digitalize this audience, and one of the most effective, when we ask relatives to teach their older relatives how to use digital devices. This is the most effective tactics, because cashbacks and some incentives are not very interesting. And I can say that what we find out for retired people, actually in our bank, because we have a lot of people in our branches, there's a lot of lines. So this is another place where they want to have financial services. It's also a place where they can, they can hang it out, they can speak with other people. So this is the place for socialization for them as well. Yeah, and it's very interesting because, you know, when we find out that it was, you know, you can pay for, you know, just imagine yourself, somebody comes to a restaurant where you know, sitting and having your beautiful dinner and say to you, hey, Okan, here is $100, so please leave this restaurant. So this is very strange, and this this type of thinking is very interesting. So I believe that, of course, we will have a lot of retired people on our branches in the nearest future, but anyway, their kids and their grandkids, they want them keep safe. That's why they invest a lot of time to convince them and to teach them how to use digital channels.
I see. I see. Thank you very much. So let me go to the last round of the questions. We have, I think, 8 minutes. So please, if you can plan yourself with the answers, I will be grateful for you. Let me ask my last question to Benoit. You know, as trust is indispensable and most crucial feature of banking, do you think that a digital-only banking model can build this confidence with its customers? Or if I ask the question backward, can trust be a stepping stone for the traditional banks to build a better alternative digital banking model that can provide better competency with the new digital banks or fintechs? What do you think about it?
I think that it's really possible to be trust offering through the digital channel, but it starts by delivering a good services. So if you want to establish trust with your customer, the first thing that you have to do is to deliver an optimized services and products. So for instance, with the development of intelligent smart bot, I mean, the customer can have in real time answer to their question. So what is the customer expectation is to get his answer 24/7. So it starts by that. So what does it mean for the bank and financial institution? It's very important to be data driven, to understand what kind of service is expected by their user, and as well to have a proper understanding of the behavior of their user. So to integrate with some data analytics, to use machine learning and intelligent artificial to answer this question. So that's where it starts. And of course, building trust is also bringing security to the customer, bringing security and convenience to the customer. So when we're talking about digital onboarding, making sure that the solution that we're offering for the digital onboarding is perceived as very secure by the customer. So, and that's something that today, by partnering with Fintech, the bank can deliver to their customer. Something as well when it comes to authentication, as we were mentioning before, the authentication should not be creating some friction to the user. So with the usage of biometric combination with behavioral biometric, with profiling based on AI and ML, I mean, there is a way today to deliver a very convenient user experience without altering the security. So this trust can be really developed and offered to the customer based on the level of service that is going to be delivered to the customer. And then as well, using and consuming the latest technology available on the market to build up this trust. And finally, it's very important for the bank to be transparent about the fee, how do they charge the user. So it's really critical being digital to as well bring a transparency to the customer regarding what they pay in terms of fee for the different services. So I believe that today, yes, digital is not the opposite of trust. I think that based on the quality of a service that is delivered through the digital channel, I mean, we can definitely build a trust relation with the customer.
Yeah, I think as a summary, we can build trust with digital also. Yeah. So I think you are also working in this field, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're offering some security solution to really offer end-to-end secure experience to the user, where the solution that are going to be delivered by the bank is not going to be a trade-off between security and user experience. The goal for us is really to deliver the both.
I see. Thank you so much. And my last question to Igor. While the mobile application of classical banks or traditional or conventional banks, including many functions, new digital banks offer very simple or focused mobile applications with a new experience, with a better customer experience. When you just think about it, in terms of simplicity and functionality, will the traditional banks switch to more simple applications, or will digital-only banks increase the number of functions? What do you think about it?
We have a competitor in Ukraine, the biggest competitor for us, and actually it's a neobank. And so what I can see that they always increase in the amount of functionality in their mobile application, while Privat bank decreasing that amount. I mean, we just remove taxi service, we remove sushi or something else. So, but I think the digitalization itself, it's providing us, very smooth and very convenient services online, and this offer us an endless possibilities to provide the services in one place in mobile application. So I believe amount of services in every mobile application will rise in the future, and also banks and other companies will spend tons of money on product design and how to make every time you use your mobile application and you want to get some service, it should be a joyful, and if you want to be 100% customers oriented, it should be invisible. So invisible banking is it's a holy grail for every digital banker. So, and I think we will have every feature in mobile application, but we will do everything to make it invisible. So this is this is no, one question. This is just a compete of philosophy that, in different banks and in different companies. So my philosophy is that we need a lot of functionality in mobile application and very simple design and product design for that.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of dilemma, but I think we can solve this issue.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so at the end,
Benoit, you want to add
more
something?
services, but in a transparent way. That's what you explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
definitely.
Okan, I need to add something. I just forgot to do it in the start of our conversation. Actually, it was like 2 days. I'm not a head of innovation in Privat. I just moved from Privat, so I need to say that, to
really
be transfer. Yeah. So it was interesting journey because I spent 30 years in Privat, and now I'm trying to build something new, something interesting.
I hope the best for you.
Yeah,
I hope the best for you. Okay. I think our time is over. I want to thank both of you for joining us, and also I wish the session and the discussion is fruitful and interesting for the audience. Also, I want to thank the organizers, the arrangers, for getting us to meet here. Again, thank you very much, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my pleasure, gentlemen.